As listeners, we want you to understand that the solution of business, tax, and legal issues depends on many factors, including local, state, and federal laws. Listeners' names and questions may be simulated. The show is not intended to offer business, tax, or legal advice, and Spiegel and Utrera PA, its attorneys, and Lawrence J. Spiegel recommend you seek legal advice from an attorney about your specific matter. AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. There are only two types of people, those in business and those who wish they were. Join Larry Spiegel, entrepreneur, author, and managing shareholder of Spiegel and Utrera PA, with host Joe Castello, as they tackle issues and challenges associated with starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business in today's highly competitive marketplace. It's time to start or expand your business today. And now, here's Larry Spiegel and Joe Castello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. I'm Joe Castello, once again joined in studio by entrepreneur, author, and managing shareholder at Spiegel and Utrera PA, Larry Spiegel. Larry, welcome back.
Well, Joe, thank you for having me back. I'm excited to go here today. We've got a lot of interesting questions, I understand.
We do. We have great questions. They're coming in at a greater rate, I think, in part due to the great answers these people are getting.
I appreciate that, Joe. I hope that's true, because I am always willing to help people out.
40 years of experience doing these things, and I would imagine every once in a while you get a question that you haven't heard just yet.
Yeah, there are questions out there you don't hear because things are changing all the time. But they all fit into certain patterns.
And if you've got a question out there, you can jump on board by calling us at 800-520-7600. That's our call-in line, and just leave your name, your question. Maybe you'll hear your question on the show. Or you can email radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com. Just go to the website, radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com, and you can ask your question. Larry, you ready to get into the questions today?
Let's go.
Let's do it. First question from someone who has not given their name. Yes, I hope you can answer my question without me giving my name. I am currently working for an advertising agency, and I manage several accounts. I do not like the way things are going, and I'm thinking of leaving and possibly starting my own agency. Several clients have told me that if I leave, they would too. If I were to go somewhere else or start my own company, can I bring these clients on without having a legal problem with my former employer? In case you're wondering, I do not have any non-compete or contractual obligations. Thank you, says the man with no name.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yes. I don't see any problem here. Remember, and I've said this before, under the common law in the United States, restraint of trade is illegal. So that really gives everybody the right to go out and start their own business and do whatever. Now, that does not give you the right to take the firm that you're working for's customer list out the door if you have to take out copies of papers out of the office or things like that, because those things belong to your employer. So you can't take anything physical. But to the extent you know who the clients are that you will then subsequently solicit, your memory was jogged because you looked through the phone book to get more details about them, all those things are permissible. And you have no problems at all. You can start your own business. But I will caution you and listeners that don't be surprised if you don't get a letter from a lawyer where they are making demands upon you, regardless of the fact that you didn't even have an agreement or anything, because they'll stop at nothing to try to persuade you not to interfere with their business. But it sounds to me that based upon your question, and as long as you don't take anything from the premises where you work, physically that is, it's smooth sailing in your new agency.
800-520-7600 or radioshow@AmeriLawyer.com. You know, there's always another question, Larry. You give an answer and it unfolds a layer to something else.
No, it's true. It's and we could go on and on and on. Unfortunately, the caller is not present, and so we're not getting that interaction with them. I'm trying to give the answers in such a way that they understand what the next step might be, or to put them in at least the proper line of thinking about how to analyze the situation.
Next question.
Hey, fellas. My name is Richie. I'm thinking of selling my business. The problem is significant amount of my revenue that comes in is in cash. What can I do to find out what my business is actually worth? Thanks.
Richie, I don't think that's any problem at all. Basically, you need to value your business, put a price on it, and as part of the purchaser's due diligence of your business, you have to deal with this issue of proof. Now, there would be two avenues here. One would be I've reported this cash all the time and paid my income tax on it, and so therefore I have those records. Or I may not have done that, as I should have. So as part of the due diligence, then the prospective purchaser would have to spend time at the business. How else would they know what the actual cash receipts were? But I think that the cash receipts can be substantiated through that attendance at the business by the prospective purchaser. Now, not any Tom, Dick, or Harry would you do this with. Only the prospective purchaser who's entered into a contract, given a deposit. And then one of his out clauses is that, for example, that he intends to spend 4 consecutive weeks at the business. And during that period of time, of the gross sales of $5,000 a week, 60% of those must be in cash. Otherwise, the purchaser need not go through with the transaction. It's automatically canceled, and he gets his deposit back. So that would be the way to deal with that issue.
Richie, thanks for your question. 800-520-7600 or radioshow@amerilawyer.com. I want to take a second to welcome all our new listeners to Start or Expand Your Business Today. I'm Joe Castello. He's Larry Spiegel, and each week we answer your entrepreneurial questions. We'll be back after this with more on amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Start or expand your business today.
There are some mistakes in business that may cause the occasional headache. Then there are some mistakes in business that may keep you up all night for weeks and months at a time. Avoid those mistakes by seeking strategic business and legal advice from a team of attorneys ready to help you. Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club can assist you with the tough legal and business questions at crucial times. Call toll-free 800-734-9900 to receive your annual membership and be entitled to get unlimited strategic business and legal advice for a year. The General Counsel Club can assist with how to buy or sell business, converting hobby expenses into legitimate business expenses. What are legitimate business expenses for tax purposes? Tips on leasing a business location, whether for retail, office, warehouse, or industrial. Leasing versus buying options for vehicles and equipment. IRS examinations, audits, liens, levies, deficiencies, and settlements of tax dispute. Knowledge is power, and knowing that Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club is one phone call away may give you the confidence to succeed during the day and rest well at night. Call 800-734-9900 or log on to amerilawyer.com today.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Email radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of amerilawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's radioshow@amerilawyer.com. Now back to Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Welcome back to Start or Expand Your Business Today. I'm Joe Castello, once again joined by Larry Spiegel. Larry, we're mowing through the questions, caller line, the emails. We're attacking the questions today.
Very good questions that we're getting also, and a lot of twists and turns to each one.
I love the nuance. It's all about the nuance of the questions. Let's get right back into it. Next question.
Hi, I have a question. Baking has always been my hobby. My friends and everyone tells me that I make the most amazing cupcakes. And cupcakes right now are extremely popular. People are not even buying cakes anymore. And so I wanted to start selling my cupcakes as a business, but I don't have money to rent a location, buy the equipment, and all the things that come along with starting a business. So I was thinking about a food truck, and food trucks are really popular right now as well. So my question is, if I do this and buy an appropriately equipped food truck to start my cupcake business, what is the most advantageous way to handle the purchase? Should I lease it? Will I need special licensing? I'm not sure the legalities of it. Thank you so much for taking the time to help me figure this out. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Cupcake, let me answer that in this manner. One of the other things you should consider about on the purchase of the food truck, whether the lease or the buy, is maybe perhaps seller financing. I could see where somebody has a food truck available for sale. They may very well be willing to finance it for you. That's another option you should consider, because you might be able to get a much better deal that way. As far as licensing is concerned, when you have a food truck, it's mobile. You're going to move from one jurisdiction to another for licensing purposes. That's something you must consider. There's a myriad of local laws that may be applicable. In the county where you would operate, there'd be a license for sure, and each municipality, no doubt, has a license also. Doesn't mean you can't drive your food truck through a municipality where you don't have a license, but you can't stop and start vending food if you do not have a license. Although we think of the food truck as a mobile type business, in fact, I think that it's less mobile than what we would like to think. In other words, you have certain locations where you're very stationary, and people go to those locations. As a matter of fact, even have a schedule. They're depending on you to be there on those days and so on. So it's not quite as mobile. It's not as if you had a food vending truck and you were visiting construction sites and vending food. I think what we come to know today as the food truck is something that is much more stationary than mobile. Even though the food truck vendor would like to think that they're that mobile, they're really not, because their customers are very dependent on their locations. And I understand that some of them send out emails or the tweets and other information, perhaps on Facebook, as to where their location is. But being realistic, someone is not going to travel miles to buy the cupcakes if they expect them to be near their office. So I say you get pinned down to a schedule, and that's the extent of your mobility. I think you have a good idea. You weigh that mobile food truck idea against setting up a shop. I think you've already dismissed that idea. It is very palatable to think that the food truck is a place where you can conduct your business, bake your cupcakes, and if you have a food truck that's set up for that, and then if you can add to that seller financing, that would be fantastic for you to be able to get started. The other thing that I would say is that I'd be very careful about how the exterior of the food truck appears, because when somebody is purchasing food, they want to be sure that they're buying it from an establishment that is neat, orderly, clean, you name it. But I don't think cupcakes are the same as, for example, fried food or hamburgers. And I also believe that a lot of the cupcakes that are sold from the food truck will not necessarily be made on the food truck, which is another plus for that type of business that you're about to embark upon, which I think is very good.
You ever try any of the food at these food trucks? They are very popular these days.
Yes, they are. I've seen many of them in Miami and also in Los Angeles, New York City, other places where I've been.
Food trucks, folks. It's the future. Next question. This one coming from Andy. Hello, my name is Andy. My wife and I are getting ready to purchase our first house. We have 2 daughters and another on the way. We both have good jobs, and we're not leaving them anytime soon since we both make pretty good money. I've heard the show, and I'm wondering, what is the best way to purchase this home so that our daughters may benefit from the purchase? Says Andy.
Well, Andy, I think that probably getting a little bit ahead of yourself with the daughters. And in almost every state, there's a common way that homes are purchased by husband and wives. Typically, they're purchased jointly. They go under different names in different states, and that's what you will probably do. There are certain statutes, in some cases constitutions within states, that provide for the passing of a home, a residence, that is owned by husband and wife, and so on. So you really need to talk to a lawyer about your specific location and how that would work. Now, it is possible, if you wanted to put the home in the names of your children, even though they're minors, because either you or you and your wife could act as their custodian. But I don't think that is going to be beneficial, because I believe if you'll speak to a lawyer in your locale, you'll find that you're going to receive certain benefits by having that home in both of your names that you wouldn't otherwise have, and you would not have those open to you if you involve your children.
Thanks for your question, Andy. Best of luck, and congratulations on your new house once you get it locked down. Next one, coming from Edward. Hey, guys, my name is Edward. Thanks for answering my question. I have been unemployed for about 6 months and have decided that I'm not going back to working for someone else if I can avoid it. I just hate the fact that I'm not in control of my life working for someone else. Not to get too personal, but my previous employer fired me and several other good employees to lower his overhead, and he recently bought a boat. That has got me really fired up to do my own thing. I'm ready to go, but now I need some direction. I'm not exactly sure of which type of products I'm going to be selling, but I want to get going. What is the first move I should make? Thanks again, says Edward.
Well, Edward, you got a wide open question there. I'm thinking that maybe why don't you take a middle ground? You don't want to work for somebody. Maybe you're not completely ready to start your own business because you don't even know what you want to do. So I was thinking about perhaps with the concept of you becoming a commissioned sales agent. Commissioned sales agent can work for a number of companies simultaneously, selling products for them, non-competing products, and it could be a way for you to get started. In effect, it is a business unto itself and allows you to see how good you are at making sales and whether you're cut out for that. It would also allow you to delve into and deal with different kinds of products. Thinking you could specialize in business-to-business products. I'm not talking about the party circuit and selling homeowners products or consumer products, but I'm thinking about business-to-business. One form of a commissioned sales agent over the years is a food broker. Food broker represents manufacturers, and he works towards getting their products in various supermarkets, supermarket shelves. That's one type. There are many others out there in different industries doing this type of work, and it's still a very common practice. And in a sense, yes, you are working on your own. You're in your own business and not having to make a great investment. But you do have to make the contact and become the commissioned sales agent for somebody so that you can get started.
Edward, thanks for your question. Good luck out there, and believe me, I understand. You want to control your own destiny. We're going to take a quick break, then we'll be back with more of your questions and Larry's final thought right here on AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
AmeriLawyer.com.
Start or expand your business today. Form your corporation for as little as $104.95. Each corporation is complete and includes state filing fees, corporation records book, corporate seal, articles of incorporation, corporate bylaws, corporate minutes, stock certificates, preliminary name search, and attorney's fees. Spiegel and Joe PA and AmeriLawyer.com can also help you with assumed or fictitious business names, advising on legitimate business expenses for tax purposes, discussing the converting of personal expenses into deductible business expenses, assisting you in developing a service agreement for your business, answering your questions on the advantages of minority-owned business certification, explaining the differences between a corporation and a limited liability company, and the benefits of creating either a regular corporation, S corporation, or a limited liability company. Knowledge is power. Order over the phone at 800-603-3900. That's 800-603-3900, or online at AmeriLawyer.com.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Call 800-520-7600. Just leave your name and your question. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's 800-520-7600. Now back to Start or Expand Your Business Today.
Final segment on Start or Expand Your Business Today. Joe Castello along with Larry Spiegel. Larry, they're putting the questions at you. You're coming back with answers.
Trying to give them an answer, give them an idea, help them along.
Let's get right back into it. First question this segment coming from Randy. Hello, my name is Randy. My question regards some work I just had done to my work vehicles, which are actually boats. Frankly, I don't think they did an acceptable job, so I was going to withhold payment until they make things right. I am concerned, however, that they may put a lien on my business, and I don't want to get my business in trouble by trying to prove a point. What can I do? Thanks again. I'll be listening, says Randy.
Well, Randy, typically a repairman such as this has a possessory lien on whatever it happens to be, whether it's a boat, motor vehicle, whatever. And so if you're not going to pay them, the chances are they're not going to release the item to you. In most jurisdictions, there's a procedure you can go through by going down to the courthouse. You can post the bond, and then they're required to release whatever it is to you. Now, that's a rather cumbersome procedure, but if your dander is up, you may want to go through that. The other thing is to pay the bill, pay it under protest with them, and then turn around and sue them for damages in court. Maybe it's just small claims court. Suing them for the damages. And one of the things you have to realize there is that you're going to need an expert witness in court. You're not going to be able to testify to the judge what the real problems are or how it should have been done correctly, whatever the case may be. So you'll need an expert. That's an additional expense. However, in most jurisdictions, that's a taxable cost. So you can recover that expense from the people that you sue if you prevail in the case.
Best of luck to you, Randy. Next question, this one coming from Jay. Hello, my name is Jay, and I have a question for Larry. I was in business for 2 years with a 2-member LLC. Actually, I am in business, but my business partner has recently died. As you can imagine, this has caused many different issues for me, but my biggest concern is whether I'm responsible for debts that he may have incurred. I don't even know how to find out who he might owe. Also, how does his death affect my LLC? Do I need to report his death to someone? As you can see, this has been tough. I plan to soldier on, but I'm overwhelmed, says Jay.
Well, Jay, this is a situation that occurs frequently in business when you're in business with somebody else. Of course, you're not responsible for the deceased LLC's members' debts that he may have incurred. If he incurred any debts on behalf of the LLC quite possibly could be responsible for those. Have to look into each one of those on a case-by-case basis. But his debts in general, neither you nor the LLC are responsible for those. As far as who he might owe, we can get into that through probate. If he had assets, you'd need to open up a probate estate. And, in fact, he has an asset here because he owns half of the LLC. So in that process of probate, there'll be a notice to creditors that'll be done and published. Creditors must come forward and file their claims. If they don't do that within a specified period of time, they will lose any right to make a claim. I'm not sure when you mention report the death to someone, the problem that you really have is that you have another member of your LLC who's now deceased. And we really want to transfer that interest to somebody that's alive. And that somebody that's alive is one of the heirs of your deceased partner or the other owner. The only way that's all going to be sorted out and determined is through probate. Did he die? Did the partner die with a will or without a will? These are some of the issues that will come up in probate. And from my perspective, looking at your situation, this is the only thing probably about the death that impinges on you and the business. Because if you didn't have an agreement with him, then you don't have the right to purchase his interest from his heirs. That could be a problem. You may end up with another owner in the business now whom you don't even know. And perhaps at that point, then you would negotiate a purchase of their interest. I hope I've explained this for you. As I say, it's not an unusual situation. It happens quite frequently. But it is something you have to deal with.
Very difficult situation, and I feel for you out there, Jay. That must be very tough. As soon as you're working and get things going, you get a hurdle like that, a very personal hurdle.
Right. It can be devastating for a business because many times in business, one of the owners performs tasks that are totally unknown to the other owner. He's an expert at one thing, the other owner's an expert at another, and it can have a very damaging effect on the business.
That's it for questions today. Now it's time for Larry's final thought.
My final thought today, Joe, is that I'd like to let entrepreneurs know that when they shoot for the moon and they come up short, they still end up among the stars. The idea there is that If you plan your work and work your plan every day, even if it doesn't turn out to be 100%, it's still going to be quite a stretch, and you're going to have made a great deal of progress, and it contributed more to your success.
The learning experience, it's part of the journey. That's going to do it for this edition of AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. Larry, I think you did a great job once again answering questions for these people out there. The questions keep coming. The answers keep coming.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Thought there were a lot of interesting questions. They're all very difficult to answer, but I gave it my best shot.
There you go, folks. You can check the website, AmeriLawyer.com, for schedules. And remember, send us your questions, radio show at AmeriLawyer.com, or call in 800-520-7600. Leave your name and your question, and we may use it on the show. Larry, take us home.
Plan your work and work your plan, as always.
That's going to do it. We'll see you next time right here on AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today.
AmeriLawyer.com, where understanding your business is our business.
There are some mistakes in business that may cause the occasional headache. Then there are some mistakes in business that may keep you up all night for weeks and months at a time. Avoid those mistakes by seeking strategic business and legal advice from a team of attorneys ready to help you. Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club can assist you with the tough legal and business questions at crucial times. Call toll-free 800-734-9900 to receive your annual membership and be entitled to get unlimited strategic business and legal advice for a year. The General Counsel Club can assist with selecting a legal and tax structure for your business, building business credit, when a trust should own your corporation or limited liability company. What are the benefits of forming a corporation or limited liability company? What are the differences between a corporation and limited liability company? Using employees versus independent contractors. Knowledge is power, and knowing that Spiegel and Joe PA's General Counsel Club is one phone call away may give you the confidence to succeed during the day and rest well at night. Call 800-734-9900 or log on to AmeriLawyer.com today.
Got a question about starting, expanding, buying, or selling your business? Call 800-520-7600. Just leave your name and your question. Listeners' questions may air on episodes of AmeriLawyer.com presents Start or Expand Your Business Today. That's 800-520-7600. AmeriLawyer.com, where understanding your business is our business.